Welcome to Behave Yourself, the podcast that aims to bring the science of human behavior and how you can apply it to your own life and become the happiest, healthiest, and most successful version of you.
We're two behaviour analysts with backgrounds in personal training and nutrition who've struggled in the past with confidence, weight loss, breaking promises to ourselves, and constantly trying the quick fixes.
We bring the science and show you how to apply it confidently and consistently towards your own goals and how to actually create a lifestyle change.
Behaviour analysis is the science of human behaviour, and we all engage in behaviours that either move us towards the direction of our goals or hold us back from living the life we desire.
I'm one of your hosts, Emily McRae.
And I'm your other host, Jo Wesley. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How have you been behaving yourself?
I've been behaving myself well this week. I've mostly been at a behaviour analytic conference alongside normal work, but a conference held by the UK-SBA, which sadly was, or not sadly, it worked really well. It was all online with, I think it's a new software called Behaviour Live. So all behaviour analytic conferences, but through a website called Behaviour Live. And it's new. They're obviously trying it, but they did it really well. I was really impressed. So we saw Peter Gerhard talk on sex and sexuality within ABA for individuals with learning difficulties. And now my brain goes blank. Why does it go blank? Parent training and food and feeding disorders. It was really interesting. So yeah, I've had a really good week of being very well behaved, behaviour analytically. How have you been? How have you been well behaved?
I have been so well behaved with getting up with my alarm, which is a struggle that I have almost always had. And the snooze button and I are typically pretty good friends. We're tight. I downloaded an app that I've used in the past, but I finally started using it again, and it makes you do a task to shut the alarm off. And so I have been getting up with my alarm every morning on the first alarm. So
I was impressed. I messaged Emily at 9 o'clock in the morning, my time, and she messaged back immediately. And I was like, oh no, maybe I've woken her up with my WhatsApps, but it was 4 a.m. your time and you were up and at them ready for clients.
Yes. Not normally the time that I'm awake at all. I sleep a lot. So not typically up at that time, but for my clients, I will get up for you. So
nice. So today's podcast, I get the joy of interviewing Emily and hearing all about her. One really lovely piece of feedback we had from a listener was they wanted to get to know us and who we are and where we've come from and everything about us, which is really lovely. So thank you.
Yeah.
And I get to find out more about you today.
Cool.
Which
I'm
is
ready.
Exciting. I remember when we'd only just started to get to know each other and I'd fallen head over heels for you already, of course. And we decided to do a podcast together. And then I think on one of our Zoom sessions, I was like, should we maybe chat and get to know each other a bit and work out that you're not a psychopath? Okay, let's do that. Okay. So we had a bit of a chat, but I'm excited to hear more about you and who you are today.
Yeah, I think we'll learn even more about each other. And there's still, we just had that one conversation really to get to know each other. And as we were starting the podcast, we were already like all in on this without even really fully knowing each other. And I've had people ask, how did you guys meet? On Instagram. We met, connected, and
Jo stalked me for a while and then.
Yeah. No, I love how it's all grown and evolved, and we've, met on social media.
I think I saw on social media that we had a lot of similarities. So we were both into health and both into fitness and both behaviour analysts and both had histories of working with maybe other health and fitness companies who we are no longer aligned with. And there were just lots of similarities between us, but differences as well that made me go, I think she's my kind of person.
I thought the same thing. It was really cool. And we had all these back and forths of, oh, you did this. Oh, you're doing that. It all became very similar. So
from different
I'm excited.
Worlds. Yeah. So give me the basics. If you were filling out a really basic, like about me form, like,
oh boy,
whereabouts do you live? Not your exact address, obviously. Who do you live with? All of that jazz.
So I live just north of Boston, Massachusetts. We're in one of the suburbs up near Lowell. and it makes no difference to you over in the UK. But we are just north of the city. We're not in the city at all. Not a city person for sure. And so I live with my husband. We've been married for 2.5 years now. And we live in a nice little apartment and no pets, nothing else hanging out with us currently, but we are just us living up here.
Nice.
What?
What else? That's great.
I don't know.
No.
We got going on.
No, perfect. And would you like to get pets? Would you like to live anywhere different?
Oh, yes. So our goal is to get a pack of huskies.
Wow.
Yeah. Nice little pack of sled dogs. Yeah,
And
that's our goal.
Colder or stay whereabouts where you are?
We have dreams of moving other places, but nothing's come to fruition yet. But we have goals and dreams for it. But the huskies have always been what we want. We've just never lived in an apartment that have allowed them. So that's kind of what's deterred us at this point. So
they are big dogs.
They are, but get to see other huskies and always point them out and stalk the huskies that we always come up across. And they're just so friendly and fun that one day we'll have them. So
nice.
Good goal to have.
Do you have like hobbies?
So I wish that I did. I feel like my hobbies are working out and napping. I'm really good at naps. It's what I've typically said is one of my hobbies. But I mean, I'd like to say I have all of these hobbies, but I don't. I fill my time. I mean, honestly, I like being kind of creatively crafty. So if I have a project for somebody else, we just created a thankful turkey at work. I know you guys don't have these in the UK, but you write on the feathers, like a thankful turkey, like what we're thankful for. I know. So we like cut out the feathers and then you write on each feather what you're thankful for. But like those little things I really enjoy. My mom was very crafty growing up, making scrapbooks. And so I used to do that a lot. I'm not artistic at all. I cannot draw or color or sing or play music, none of those things. But I like to do like little crafts or coloring books. I can do color inside the lines really well.
Hobby-wise, you're learning arithmetic at the moment.
Yeah. So Tom actually said that this morning. Tom's my husband. He was like, well, one of your hobbies is calculus. And I was like, is it though? But yes, I am learning calculus, not for the sole purpose of learning calculus, but to learn how to work through more difficult problems, learn how to kind of struggle and retry and learn. And I come from a psychology background. So I never took calculus or physics or anything like that. And that is his background. So, but it's our time that we spend together. And it's nice to kind of focus on that versus the rest of the world and everything that's happening and learning something new. So yeah, I try to screenshot it and share it. And I got an A- on one of the problems the other night. So that was a win. I've been getting, well, see, I have this very big aversion to getting poor grades, which it's not a reflection of me or who I am in a grade, but I associate it very much with failing and not doing well. And I'm sure there's people out there that are similar to me. And then also like, it doesn't matter. It's a grade, whatever. But I come from, you get an A because you need to study and get an A. And if you didn't, then you weren't putting the effort in towards it. So I am learning that it's okay to struggle and fail and then learn where we went wrong. So it's a nice like character building experience.
Yeah, I'm always impressed. I see you guys doing it at like 10 o'clock at night.
And it ends up being very late.
I can't even imagine having to be brave and resilient at that time of day.
It's, I think it's what we're doing right now. We could get it in earlier, but we just end up doing it later at night. But apparently that's the time when you do physics problems. So, and it's not a physics. Yeah. It's just, that's what we're doing right now. So.
Okay. So then, you were saying that you have a background in psychology. Is that how you got into ABA in the first place?
A little bit. So I had no idea what I was doing in college and then came to graduation and had the nice senior in college panic of what am I going to do? And I have to go to grad school and, that kind of perspective. But
can I just check? You finished?
Yes.
You finish college when you're 21.
Hmm.
Okay, so your college is our university.
Yes. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I graduated, had a job. So I got this job in behavior analysis, which I didn't totally know at the time. I had worked actually at a summer camp the previous summer for children with social, emotional, and behavioral challenges. And it was one of the best, hardest years. I met some amazing friends there that are still amazing friends to this day. It was so hard. And it started to introduce me, though, to behavior analysis because some of the counselors were in grad schools for it, and I didn't really know. And then I applied for this job because I wanted to work with kids. And it was actually a job in a residential school for individuals with autism. And I wanted like the little babies, preschoolers, tiny little nuggets. I got put with 17 to 21-year-old girls. And it was this reality check of, oh my goodness, this is where I'm at in my real world job. And it was a lot. And anyone that lives in this area knows the few centers that are like this. And it just is emotionally draining, physically draining. But I learned so much there, but I wasn't sure that I loved ABA. And so I quit and, was young, didn't realize that you don't quit a job without another job lined up. But I did. And then
Well,
I
you
ended
certainly
up,
don't tell your parents if you do.
I did. And mom, she listens to this, and mom was like, oh boy, no, you don't do that. That's no, no. And I actually remember sitting on the couch asking her this company reached out to me about an ABA job. And I was like, oh no, 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 no. She goes, well, just call, give them a shot. So thank you to mom, because she essentially was the one that pushed me into this. But I started working in home doing ABA services with a client who I just fell in love with the science because of working with him. And my supervisor at the time said, oh, do you want to look at this data? We were trying to figure out the function or the reason why this certain behavior was happening. And I was like, oh, yes. And it was this trigger that this is what I want to do. And I changed my grad school application to behavior analysis and started studying in 2014 and got my certification in 2016. And so I've been in the field since I graduated college. So 7 years now, but have my master's in ABA and got my behavior analytics certification. So that's what's brought me here. Whole
Amazing.
long road.
But you no longer work in ABA services for autism.
I do not. So I had transitioned from home-based to center-based, which I loved that as well. And within that time, started working with a coach and really found that I liked this concept of coaching and working with people, and also had this, and I don't want to say passion for health, because I was not always a person who worked out in the gym. I was not always a person who worked out. I was a dancer growing up, and so I didn't go to the gym. It was terrifying to me. I didn't work out until a few years after college, but I saw the impact that behavior analytic methods could have on health and fitness goals, and it started to evolve. And just over a year ago, I transitioned out of direct services for children with autism and started working as a personal trainer, and wanted to get that experience so that I could combine the two and have those two experiences underneath my belt and be able to serve clients. But I dearly miss my kids and working with the families, and that it's not something that I probably won't ever go back to. I will always probably end up somewhere working with children and families with autism. But I love what I do right now too, and that's working with clients towards small goals and seeing them achieve that through behavior change methods.
Nice. So currently you spend 5 days a week in the gym training personal training
Yeah,
clients?
5 to 6. Yep. And I mean, it's variable. Obviously, with personal training, the hours are very variable. But I work mainly with women who are between 20 and 75 is my oldest client. So it's a big range. But it also has shown me that age does not define how strong you are or how capable you are. I posted this on my stories yesterday of this woman that I train, and she has a 6-year-old grandson. It just melted my heart. She looked at the pull-up machine and was like, oh yeah, I used to do that. And very reminiscent, and not this belief that she could do it. And so we did it. And then She goes, I just cannot wait to go to the playground with my son and climb, or my grandson, and climb on the monkey bars and go across. So that's going to be one of her goals. And it's so, like we talked about in the last episode of value, it's so valuable to her to be able to go on the playground, to run around, to crawl on the ground with him, to chase after him. And so that's why she's working out. That's so valuable to her. And she's going to reap those rewards on the playground with her grandson. So I love what I do now. I love what I did with my kids with autism. And yeah, just kind of melding the two areas together has been a really cool experience.
Very cool. And so what's your big goals for that now?
Big goals is to ultimately combine more of the behavior analytic approach to small goals. I love the physical training, the personal training, and am very happy doing that. But there's this component that's missing in those workout sessions that is focusing on the small lifestyle behaviors of incorporating more water or incorporating more vegetables or decreasing sugar or screen time. So really my ultimate goal, I have one-on-one coaching clients that we work on setting these really small steps towards their bigger goals. And I work one-on-one. I'm very high touch in a sense of constant contact with them, constantly checking in, sending text as a prompt, working with them to either increase or decrease their behavior goals. And so working on health focused behaviors. And it's not, when they come to me, they have typically come with, I want to lose weight. But weight loss is not a behavior, as we know, because a dead person can lose weight. And so I want to reframe that as, we're not focusing on weight loss. We're focusing on all of the small goals and behaviors that go into creating this life. If I gave you a magic pill that made you lose weight, you don't have any of those daily habits and actions that keep you there and have brought you there. And it's going to be so much more sustainable over time if we can work on them slowly. So that's what I do with my clients. Small goals, a lot of like prompting, a lot of consistent check-ins. It's what I've needed as an individual, becoming more consistent. And so that's what I give to my clients.
I love that. Nice. Okay. We said we were going to play a game to get to know you a little bit better and have some fun with us. So
I love it. 2
truths, 1 lie. Hit me with them.
All right. Alrighty. All right. Yeah, you don't know these ahead of time. So I always feel like I have to put on my like straight face when I say these because I'm not a good liar. I don't lie at all. So, all right. I was born in Nebraska. I've never broken a bone, but I was in a full body cast. I did gymnastics for 5 years. I'll say them again. I was born in Nebraska. I've never broken a bone, but I was in a full body cast. I did gymnastics for 5 years. Why was I so stressed reading that?
At least I know that you can never lie to me.
I can't. Like my heart is racing. I can't lie. Okay. Cool.
So I think I've seen you post this week about being from Nebraska because you were talking about it being cold and you being in a jumper. So I think that's the truth. You always talk about being a dancer when you were younger. So I think that you were in a full body cast and you were born in Nebraska, but you haven't done the gymnastics.
Correct.
I got
it. Yes. I cannot even do a cartwheel. Like I'm not skilled in any way to do gymnastics. My sister, gymnast, can do a backhand, backflip, whatever. I cannot.
Yep. What kind of dancing did you do?
I did ballet, tap, jazz, lyrical, modern, and hip hop. Oh man, you should see me do hip hop. It's brutal, but
I think you're gonna have to do that.
No, you don't want to bring me back to that. But I loved dancing. I wanted to be a gymnast, and my mom was just very realistic, talking about setting realistic goals. She knew that was not in my future. But I mean, I can't do a cartwheel. It's sad. So.
You know what? If that's the worst thing that happens in life, I think you're okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm grateful.
And then your family moved from Nebraska to all your family near Boston now?
No. So, well, my brother's still in the area, but some of my family, most of my extended family is in Nebraska. My mom is in North Carolina. My sister's in New York. I have stepsisters in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. I have some family in Wisconsin, Louisiana. They're all over. So, but my brother is here. That's about it. So, yeah.
And then most importantly, a full body cast.
Yes, I know. So
Wow.
I was born with hip dysplasia. So for anyone non-medical, and I'll show an example from when we put this on YouTube, but basically your hip is a ball and socket joint and it's supposed to stay in that joint. But the ball and socket joint was not fully formed. So I walked funny and mom noticed and was like, probably shouldn't be walking that way. So I ended up in multiple full body casts at 18 months old. So I wasn't like a giant child in a full body cast, but I didn't know any differently. I was happy as a clam, very content as a child to sit and color. So it's kind of where my coloring still comes into play, is all I could do was, color and stuff. But yeah. And then I danced for 15 years. So it didn't really impact anything. I have a cool scar to show from it. And yeah. Maybe I'll share a picture of it after this episode launches.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Other favorites. Things that make you you.
I love donuts. For anyone that knows me, I love a good donut.
I like donuts.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a UK, maybe UK donuts are just disgusting, but they're not my jam.
No, that's okay. They're not Tom's jam either. I thoroughly enjoy a good donut.
Favorite flavor?
Typically chocolate frosted or a good Boston cream. But then there's some really good donut places around here that have different flavored ones, and those are really good too. There's, I don't know, all the little like delicatessen kind of donut shops. So there was actually a donut festival in Boston probably 2 years ago now. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. Just ate my way through the donuts. So,
You guys have the things called cronuts over there?
Yes. And the only time I've had one was on our honeymoon in San Francisco. And I can't even remember the name of the place that has like a neon sign. It was like this touristy place that you're supposed to go in San Francisco to get cronuts. Well, it was in the not nicest area of San Francisco, and it was on our last day right before we left for the airport. And I didn't love San Francisco, and we went, and it was not as exciting as I wanted it to be, but I've had them. But it's not super popular out here in Boston. But are they big over there?
I don't know. I'm celiac and can't eat these things, and I don't really like them anyway. I've heard of them, and I've heard like people rave about them, but it's as I said, it's not my thing.
Yeah. I'm good with a regular donut.
Other favorites?
Favorite color is purple. Other favorites. I don't have a favorite song.
Type of music?
I love all types. Like if you listen to my Spotify, you'd honestly question me as a person. I mean, I like country, I like pop, I like rap and hip hop, I like classical, piano guys, anything. I love songs and instrumental though that are either like a pop or a hip hop song, but then gets turned to instrumental. I think that is a really cool transition of it, but I don't have a favorite song. No.
Nice. Okay. Anything else that you think our listeners would be interested to hear? Anything you want them to know? Favorite quotes? Taking away point of Emily's wisdom?
Favorite quote, and this kind of applies to all of it, is, and we talked about this in the last episode, you touched on a little bit, but it's a James Clear quote. And it's, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. And it really plays into how I coach of, you're taking these small steps. Is it towards the type of person you want to be, or towards kind of the comfort of who you've been and who you've identified with for so long? I'm a person that has struggled with consistency and taking action, and surrounded by these people, you and Tom and coaches that I have that are very consistent people. And so learning to become more consistent, and that we are consistent in maybe things that we probably necessarily shouldn't be consistent with. Like I can be consistent with eating donuts. Don't you worry about that. But getting more vegetables in, challenging for me. So making sure that I am making those decisions for my health, my body, my life, my family, everyone that is valuable to me. And so it's always a vote for who you want to become.
I love that. I think that's a really good point to end on.
Perfect.
Nice.
I can't wait to hear all about you so our listeners can learn more about you, and so can I.
Yes. So I would normally at this point say that's next week, but actually we're going to go straight into it in a few minutes and record that. So we're going to release that this week as well, but we'll split them up into 2 podcasts just in case you're on your way to work and, you need to split it up. So from today, where can listeners find us?
So on Instagram, you can find me at emily.a.mccrae, and Joe is at the Behavior Lady. And remember, she was from the UK, so it's spelled with a U. If you guys have any questions or areas you want covered or questions you have for me, I'm an open book. I will talk any day about any questions you guys have. So feel free to reach out. We're also the Behavior Pod on Instagram, and our email is behaviorpod@gmail. Our email is behaviorpod. behaveyourselfpod at Gmail.
Instagram is at behaveyourself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We got
it's all the talking about me. Got to talk about the podcast.
Today hasn't been particularly behavior analytic or sciencey, but while we're here, I'm going to say the disclaimer anyway. We're both behavior analysts and qualified in our respective fields, but this podcast is literally just for fun this week. So please don't take it as personal, medical, or behavioral advice or services.
Wonderful. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon when we interview Joe.
Bye.
Bye.